Well, hi, kids. I am so excited to get to see you today. I am playing with something that goes up and down and spins. And if I were maybe the size of a beetle, this would kind of be like a roller coaster, right? Yeah, have you ever been on a roller coaster? You have. What is your favorite thing about a roller coaster? Yeah, going upside down. Oh my goodness. Going around and around the curves, going fast, right? Yes, those are all super fun things to do on a roller coaster. And we are going to be talking about a roller coaster for the next 6 weeks as we start our new series called The Roller Coaster Life. Huh. Never heard of that before. Have you ever heard of the roller coaster life? Maybe you have an idea about what a roller coaster life might be. Maybe. Maybe it's your birthday and you get your favorite toy and you are up at the top of the roller coaster. Yeah? But what happens when the next day you're playing with your toy, it breaks? You kind of end up down at the bottom of the roller coaster, right? That's just a simple example. But there are lots of times in life that everybody experiences the highs and the lows. And what's really important is to remember that God is with us when things are going great, and God is with us when things are kind of troubling. And so that's what we're going to be studying and learning more about these next 6 weeks. And we're going to be learning it with our character Elijah from the Bible. And I brought a little Elijah of my own. Actually, Elijah, it's good to see you. It's good for him to be here. If you wanted to make like a relative of Elijah, you just need to get a flower pot and some felt and a cute little nose, and you can make your very own Elijah that could be with us while we have our lessons these next 6 weeks. Does that sound good, Elijah? All right. Well, Elijah is a character in the Bible, and he's going to help us out. And when you hear me say Elijah's name, we're going to kind of be like a roller coaster. We're going to either go up or we're going to go down. Every time we say Elijah's name, you can stand up, sit down, raise your hand, go make an Elijah and have him go up and down with us. Does that sound good? All right. Well, this is Elijah's story. This might sound familiar. Okay. All right. In the book of 1 Kings chapter 17, we find a man named Elijah. He was a poor man from a poor town. There was nothing special about him, but that was about to change. Now, would you say when he was a poor man from a poor town, his life was high on the top of the roller coaster, or his life was kind of low? Yeah, I think it was kind of low. Yeah. All right. Well, God spoke to Elijah and told him that he was going to become God's prophet. And his first assignment was to go before King Ahab with a very important message from God. Okay, is that the high end of the roller coaster? I agree, yeah. If God came and spoke to you and told you to go talk to a king, you might think that's a pretty highlight of your life. Yeah. Well, King Ahab was a mean man. He had allowed the nation of Israel to stray away from God and began to worship the idol, Baal. Baal was known as the god of the weather, not the God of Israel. And the people began worshiping Baal instead of God. Elijah went from being a nobody in a small town to standing before the king with a message. And he said, God says there will neither be dew nor rain for the next few years. God wanted to show the people of Israel that he was God that controlled the weather, not Baal. Well, King Ahab was not happy with Elijah's message. Immediately after Elijah delivered the message to King Ahab, he found himself running for life. He went from the high point of standing before the king to a very low point of running from his life. He made his temporary home by a brook or a river. He had nothing to eat. Elijah was starving. It looked like he would starve, but God did something amazing. God sent a whole flock of ravens to bring bread to Elijah every day. When Elijah would get hungry, God would send the ravens to bring him bread to eat. He also had all the water he needed because of the flowing brook. Elijah knew that God had been faithful to him. He gave thanks to God for his faithfulness. In the midst of all the ups and downs of life, God remained faithful to him. Wow, Elijah, that's a really good story. Yeah, you had a lot of ups and downs, didn't you? But was it good to know that God was with you and could bring you food and water? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, Elijah, I'm going to have you come back next week and tell us more of your story. Does that sound good? Okay, you want to say goodbye to the kids? All right. Elijah, I'm going to have you just sit here and listen to us while we chat a little bit more about your life. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Well, if God can use Elijah, who was a man who was poor from a city that was unimportant, that means God can use anyone. God can use anyone to do great things. Do you know that God is going to use you to do great things in your life? Yeah, yes, absolutely. Now, we also have to remember that there are going to be wonderful things that happen in our life, but there may also be some not so wonderful things that happen in our life. Right now, a lot of us are feeling like there are just some really not so wonderful things happening as we are trying to just kind of get through this time of dealing with this really bad bug that is out there. And life is certainly full of ups and downs, just like a teeter-totter or just like a roller coaster. And so how do you think we get through those times? That's right. Maybe we have our family help us get through those times, or maybe some other adults in our lives will help us. We can also trust in God to help us get through the ups and downs of life. God is always with us, and God will always be there to help us through. Our power verse today is from John 16:33, and it says, "Here on earth, you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart, because I have overcome the world." And that is really good news for us. It is from John 16:33. Take heart, even when you have trials, because Jesus has overcome them all and will help you overcome them too. I encourage you this week to think about what some of the highs are in your life. Maybe think about what some of the lows are as well. And thank God that God is with you all those times when things are so awesome and when things are less than awesome. Know that God is with you and will go with you and help you get through those trials. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will be posting next week's lesson, and we'll learn more about, here we go, the roller coaster life. Have a great week. Goodbye.